Godspeed is a resource management, bidding, and worker placement game released in 2020, designed by Clayton Hargrave and Adam Hill, with art by Jesse Riggle. The goal is to obtain points and prestige while colonizing an exoplanet about 45 light years from Earth. To the most prosperous nation goes this newest form of space race. May the best team win! To set up, place the main board in the middle of the table. Place the round marker on the first space of the round track. Place a random face-up lunar season card for each of the 3 season spaces. Shuffle the 4 development decks separately and place them on the marked spaces on the board. Add 2 random cards for each team member specialty, identified on the front of the cards, from the High Council cards to a stack, and then shuffle that stack to form the High Council deck. Remove supply cards that don't match the player count, and then separate the remaining cards into 4 stacks by season and relic power cards identified by the icons on the back and the dark card borders respectively. Shuffle those stacks and then stack them from 1 to 3 with the relic power cards on top of the season 3 cards into a single supply deck. Place the supply deck in the supply depot space. Each player chooses an available nation or color and receives their corresponding nation board, team members, flag and prestige tokens, and building tiles. They then place 1 prestige marker on each of the 4 tracks of the 1 spaces and place the matching color starter building above the star icon on their nation board. Deal each player a random initial objective card. Shuffle together the tiebreaker card and enough cargo hold cards to total the player count, and deal 1 of these cards to each player. Each player reveals their card and takes the starting resources shown. Put the milestone statues in the marked spaces, the relic power tiles next to the board, and all resources in reach of all players. First player is chosen randomly, or the rules suggest a leg wrestling tournament to decide. Make sure to stretch beforehand. In Godspeed, players are teams from various Earth-based nations colonizing the exoplanet Minos, circling Ursae Majoris, and competing to establish the greatest foothold on the planet in the shadow of the Cold War. The game is played over 10 rounds, which consist of 4 phases each: High Council, Supply Depot, Actions, and Resolution. In the High Council phase, the top card of the High Council deck is revealed, providing an event that players can act on or ignore. If, and only if, all players choose to assign the required team member to the event, then all receive the reward. Otherwise, only those who abstained receive the penalty. The Supply Depot phase starts by placing the first player token and 1 supply card for each player into the auction area. Then each player will choose a secret bid of 1 or more team members, with their total combined influence value being the bid amount. Everyone reveals their bid simultaneously and then takes 1 item from the auction in order of highest to lowest bid. Ties are broken clockwise from the tiebreaker marker. These cards can provide resources, endgame scoring, assistance who can fill in for unavailable workers, and relic plans for completing a relic building. Next, in the actions phase, players will take up to 2 actions, 1 at a time, in clockwise order, using whatever team members or assistant supply cards they have left for the round. The actions require specific team members and provide the players with resources, development cards, and buildings, as well as the opportunity to complete development cards for immediate bonuses or ongoing effects. The primary action resources are obviously the team member tokens, representing the various personnel you have at your disposal. It makes for a unique bidding-based puzzle of how and when to use them each round. Expending your team members early can limit your options for the actions phase, though maybe you really needed to get that 1 specific card in the supply, or couldn't afford to take that espionage penalty. You little sneak you. After all players have taken their 2 actions, the resolution phase occurs, where complete relics, production buildings, and development cards provide their bonuses, and team members are retrieved from the board. The ultimate goal of these phases is to move up the 4 prestige tracks of defense, commerce, infrastructure, and exploration, gaining dominance towards endgame scoring. Additional scoring options are civilization milestones and lunar season cards, where player flags are placed. If the round ending was the 10th, the game ends and final scores are tallied. Victory points come from relative positions on the prestige tracks, civilization milestones, lunar season scorings, artifacts, special objective cards, relic powers, and remaining resources. The player with the most points wins. Ties are broken by most completed development cards. The lead-off line for this game is, "The space race was a lie," which is an intriguing conceit to open with, to say the least. It posits an alternate 1960s where several spacebound nations have both the will to go past the borders of our world and the technological capability to leave our entire solar system behind. Since even before I attended my collegiate astronomy class so long ago, I have been enamored of the space beyond our atmosphere and the celestial bodies spread throughout it. I used to dream about leaving the Earth behind for thrilling intergalactic adventures, as I assume a lot of other kids did. As I grew older, those castles in the air coalesced into the foundations of my adult nerddom. Yeah, sure, I'd love to go to space and explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life forms and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before. But do I get to have space wizard powers and a laser sword? If so, I'm always game.